Young Samuel awoke with sand on his face, the sun harsh and unrelenting above. He coughed up seawater and rubbed his eyes, trying to grasp reality. His last memory was of the ship hitting something hard and the ensuing chaos of waves and screams. Now he was alone, the deserted island vast and mysterious, but foreboding. As he dragged himself away from the receded tide, he started to assess his surroundings. The beach extended for miles, with a thick jungle encroaching inland. A broken piece of the ship's hull lingered at the water's edge, the sole remnant of his previous life. At that moment, he realized shouting was futile. Nobody would hear him. Hunger and thirst gnawed at his insides, driving him to scan for food and drinkable water. In the jungle, he discovered coconuts and wild berries. Samuel remembered the documentaries he'd watched with his father about survival. He cracked open a coconut, awkwardly spilling the milk which he eagerly lapped up. Days stretched into weeks as Samuel settled into a pattern. By day, he explored, hoping to spot a ship on the horizon or a signal in the sky. By night, he kindled a fire using flints he found among the wreck. He remembered his father's words, "If you're ever stuck, always have hope and keep looking for a way." One particular morning, Samuel noticed a series of footprints newly imprinted in the sand. Excitement thrummed through him. He wasn't alone. Following the trail cautiously, he encountered an elderly man, grizzled and tanned by the sun. His name was Jonah, a castaway himself from years past, who had seemingly made the island his home. Jonah showed Samuel the intricacies of the island, teaching him how to fish using handmade tools and which fruits were edible. Samuel's rainy days no longer seemed so dreary under Jonah's stories of the sea and its forgotten sailors. Together, Samuel and Jonah constructed a signal tower using remnants of the ship. They collected driftwood, readying a bonfire to catch the sight of passing ships. As months passed, hope flared and dwindled like the waves on the shoreline. One fateful evening, when the skies were clear and the sea calm, a speck appeared on the distant waters. It was a ship. Samuel and Jonah lit their bonfire, flames stretching high into the darkened sky. The ship turned, its silhouette growing larger as it approached. When finally aboard, Samuel looked back at Jonah, thanking him for his companionship and the lessons that would never leave him. Jonah chose to stay, his heart bound to the island. As Samuel sailed away, he promised himself he'd return, not just for Jonah, but for the boy who learned resilience against the odds. The deserted island, once daunting and desolate, had given him more than he could ever comprehend, a timeless friendship and a renewed faith in the light of hope.